Williams on the ticket, be given a warrant, and that this gentleman be removed so we can continue with court.
I'm trying to resolve them, but I'm being threatened.
Count 1, drove while. Count 3, no insurance misdemeanor. Count 1, open intoxicants in a vehicle driver. Count 2.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back. Today's courtroom scene is one you won't forget, filled with confusion, bold claims, and a whole lot of head-shaking moments. We're talking about a man who believes traffic laws don't apply to him. He says he's a sovereign citizen and seems to think having a driver's license is optional. Spoiler, the judge wasn't having it. He came into court quoting the Constitution like he learned the law from online videos.
Furnish false, forged info to police officer. Driver's license never required. Count 1. Count 2, no insurance misdemeanor. Count 3, drive unregistered, untitled vehicle. Count 1, open alcohol in a motor vehicle driver. Count 2, tinted windows. Count 3, operator or front seat passenger failed to wear a safety belt. Count 1, drive unregistered, untitled vehicle. Count 2 of that same ticket is drove while unlicensed.
Aaron Ruck on behalf of Mr. Timothy Williams. Mr. Williams, state your name.
I object to the counsel.
What was that?
I object to counsel.
Your Honor, I spoke with Mr. Williams. He's saying it's not him, and he's all rights reserved. His name is all in all capital.
I object to repetition.
According to him, rules don't apply to living people, and licenses are just government tricks. It was the kind of argument that makes you question how far internet misinformation can really go. Luckily, the judge quickly stepped in with a strong dose of legal reality, something every adult civics class should include. What
was that, sir?
I object to representation by you.
Okay. So you would like to represent yourself, Mr. Williams?
I'm not representing myself. I'm just trying to appearance, trying to clear this matter.
Okay, so you have to be the person in order to clear these matters. You just can't appear on behalf of someone unless you're an attorney. Are you an attorney, Mr. Williams?
I'm not the person, but I'm the live living Williams, not the Timothy Williams.
Are you Timothy Tally Williams? Do you know Timothy Tally Williams?
I am Timothy Williams, the living, breathing Timothy Williams, not the all cat that says on my ticket.
Okay. All right. So do you want to try and resolve these today or no?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you need an offer? Is that what I'm hearing you say? Because we can try and resolve all these tickets today if you want to.
Well, I'm just, because as a U.S. national, I have rights protected by the U.S. Constitution and the Supreme Court.
So if you travel, drive, ride, anything on the city streets of Detroit, then you have to follow the rules that the city of Detroit has imposed. And so if you have not followed these rules, then you receive something called tickets. And these tickets are given to you based on the license or prior license or identification ID that is given to you. So we can either resolve these today.
Despite having 17 traffic tickets, this man acted like he was the one being wronged. You've got to wonder, would you rather sit through 10 minutes with him or wrestle a goose every day for a year? Let's take a look at what happened. He walked into court like he was part of a TV drama. Except this wasn't fiction. How does someone rack up 17 violations and still believe they're above the law? It's like setting your own car on fire, then blaming the fire department for showing up.
Or we don't have to resolve them. It's okay. But I would like to try and resolve these so that you can move forward and do whatever you need to do.
Yes, I would like to resolve them, but as the officer is seeing in his computer that by the Secretary of State, my ID has been rescinded, canceled. I have a passport, and I'm traveling. I don't drive. I just drive here.
Hold on, but if you drive in a vehicle, you need to have a driver's license. Your passport does not enable you the ability to be able to drive on the streets of Michigan.
I travel not for business and commerce. I just
same thing. They have to have licenses as well. Have you ever heard of a truck driver without a license that drives on the commutes on the freeways, roads, or byways? It does not happen. You have to have a license to drive on the city of Detroit, state of Michigan, all 50 states are under my assumption and ability. So, Mr. Williams, I can't go back and forth. I have a lot of people on my screen. I know you can't see. We can have this discussion, but it just has to be near the end of the docket if you don't want to resolve it right now. Okay?
But for the record, Your Honor, I don't
Okay,
draft.
go ahead.
For the record,
Okay.
I don't draft.
Okay,
Your Honor.
so how do you want to resolve it today? If you don't want to resolve it, I have to move to the next person, Mr. Williams.
I would like to resolve this matter.
Okay, all right. So would you like me to get you a? Yes, Attorney Snyder, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Alexa Schneider for the people, P80322. If the Mr. Williams in front of us does not admit that the ticket is in his name, is made out to him, I'd ask that the Mr. Williams on the ticket be given a warrant and that this gentleman be removed so we can continue with court.
To Mr. Williams, on these tickets?
Excuse me?
I said, is it you, Mr. Williams, on these tickets? Because that's
So-
fair. That means that I'm talking to someone who doesn't have these tickets in my courtroom, and so that person has not appeared. But I'm assuming that it's you. Are these your tickets, sir?
Whether it's bold denial or complete confusion, it's clear this man wasn't ready to take responsibility. He treated court like it was optional, not official. He spoke with confidence, but none of it held up legally. It was like watching someone try to fix a car using a kitchen spoon, confident but completely ineffective. In his world,
If you assume, yes.
Okay.
I stand-
So do you want to, Mr. Williams, do you want to resolve these or not? We can't keep going back and forth. You want to take care of these today with some type of plea or no? That's my only.
I'm trying to resolve them, but I'm being threatened by prison.
Prison. I'm not sending anybody to prison today. I'm fining people. That's all I'm doing. I'm giving them fines, monetary fines.
The prosecutor just said she issue a warrant. She recommended a warrant be issued.
Right, but you're not gonna get arrested. But she's saying if you're not gonna say that you're the person on these tickets, Mr. Williams, I have 20 people. I can't argue with you at the beginning of the docket. I can argue with you at the end of the docket. So I'm gonna skip over this matter so we can continue. Let me get everybody else out. Then I'm gonna give you all the time in the world, and we're gonna figure out what to do with you today. Okay? I don't mind taking the time. But I got all these other people on here who are looking like, come on now. Okay, so just give me a moment. We called on the matter of the people versus Timothy Talley Williams. These matters were called on the record previously. I took a moment off. We had quite a busy docket this morning, and I want to make sure that we could give Mr.
traffic rules were just suggestions. But reality came knocking when the prosecutor stepped in and made it clear. If you're not the person named on the ticket, you're wasting everyone's time. She brought the conversation back to solid ground while he kept floating in his make-believe legal theories. And what happened next? He refused to even say guilty or not guilty.
To be able to have and all of his questions answered about the matters that are before the court today. Appearances for the record, starting with the city attorney, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexa Schneider for the people, P80322.
All right. He continues to not want counsel. Is that correct, Mr. Williams?
Correct.
Okay. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Timothy
Last name?
Williams.
Okay, sir. Now you've had the opportunity to sit and look and see how everything pans out and how everything works, Mr. Williams, right? Did you want to be presented with an offer today, or how do you want to move forward?
Well, the offer was to get all this.
So the offer was, I think, so he had some extra cases, Attorney Snyder. So it was FTD, failed to display a valid operator's license, and an open alcohol passenger that was being offered in exchange. We did have a couple of tickets in default, another open intoxicant driver, Attorney Snyder, and it was forged or false police information to a police officer. He may have just given him like a ID that expired. But if you plead to those two cases, the remainder of your cases will be dismissed.
No, I was talking about the agreement between me and you was to get this sorted out today. That's
right. So so the options are, so these are your options. You can ask for a pretrial. That'll give you some time to get documents together and to get everything back in order and then present it to the court. You can ask for a bench trial. That's a trial before myself as the trier and finder of facts. Every single one of these officers who have made these allegations will have to appear on that date and come into court. Or you can ask for a jury trial. That's when the officer is in person 6 citizens of the city of Detroit will make the decision based on the law. Officers still have to come in. You will have to come in at that point in time, and then we can resolve it that way. Those are the 3, or you can plead guilty or plead responsible at this point in time to the offer that has been extended to you. Those are the 4 things that we can do to resolve it today. And I guess the 5th one is if you don't want to do any of those, then it just remains as is and it just remains there. And then eventually it goes into warrant status.
Yeah.
So I said,
Personal rights, and I don't understand what's going on. So
okay. I don't know if they'll be able to help you. I really wish you would let us assign some counsel to you. They may be able to talk to you and help you understand a little bit better.
I tried, but he not listening, so I was just taking them on hands.
All right. Sometimes you have to be willing to understand that they're going to give you the law, not necessarily what you're following, but the law that we practice in the state of Michigan.
I have no contract. If I have no contract with the Secretary of State, then why am I going through this? I'm going through proper procedure to have my rights protected under the Constitution and Supreme Court. So
Instead, he just stood there, stuck, like he was waiting, at the DMV of bad choices. The judge then tried explaining the basics step by step, but he still looked lost, like she was speaking a foreign language. At times, it felt more like daycare than a courtroom. Let's clear something up. Quoting slogans from the internet won't change how the legal system works. States do have the authority to enforce traffic laws. That's
Of Michigan?
Of Michigan, what?
No, I'm saying the Supreme Court of what jurisdiction? Michigan or the United States of America?
United States of America.
All right, they won't have jurisdiction over local matters, though. And that's going to be the problem. You're going to run into every time, Mr. Williams, that local matters are held. The Constitution extends the right for us to locally handle certain matters, such as ordinance violations, misdemeanors, driving offenses.
Right. So if I'm not a U.S. citizen, I'm a U.S. national. What jurisdiction does that fall under? I'm not a resident or a U.S. citizen.
Oh, you don't live in the United States of America?
I live in the United States of America, but not under the jurisdiction.
So that's your resident. Are you born, do you have you said you have a passport, is the United States of America passport?
United States of America, but not the United States, the federal territory.
Oh, you didn't get so you don't have like a federal passport given to you. It's not a passport issued by the United States of America.
It is now.
not a loophole. It's how the law is structured. And that claim of, I'm not driving, I'm traveling, it doesn't work. If you're operating a car on public roads, you're driving. No amount of creative language changes that. By the end, he left the courtroom, just as confused but just as sure of himself as when he came in. He's now heading to pre-trial as if he's making history, when really it's just a stack of unpaid tickets. Honestly, if misunderstanding the law could get you out of trouble, this guy would have walked out with a trophy. Major respect to the judge for staying calm through it all. That took real patience. Judges are there to be fair, not to explain the basics to someone treating the Constitution like a children's book. And just to be clear, no, the font on your ticket doesn't make it invalid. Yes, states can make and enforce laws. That's part of the 10th Amendment. And no, Google searches don't replace real legal education. So what do you think? Is he serious or just putting on a show? If you enjoyed this courtroom story, make sure to like, subscribe my Ruling Today channel and stay tuned. We've got more real cases coming your way soon. Thanks for watching.